we're going rockin' now.
Hey guys, what is up and welcome to another Did You Know episode. This one is going to be featuring Zed, where I'll be talking about many cool facts and tips that will be applicable to this champion that I'm sure some of you guys may have not known. Without any further ado, let us jump straight into his abilities. Zed's ultimate gives him invulnerability for a few seconds as he is flying to his target. As you can see here, as Morgana threw her snare, I'll simply ulti and completely avoid this spell. This works for any other spell such as Karthus ultimate and Lux binding, etc. Zed's W gives him the opportunity to make great escapes over walls. As you can see here, it can go through many of the walls throughout the League of Legends Summoner's Rift map. However, there are a few walls that are just simply too big for the W to pass over, meaning that it will fail. So be very wary of these walls. Zed's W also offers him a great scouting tool. As you can see here, when you put the W inside the bush, you are able to see everything that is within it. Or if you put it over the wall, for example for Dragon, you can see everything that's happening there as well. Zed's Shadow Slash ability does not cancel or stop or slow down his auto attack rotation, meaning that as you are auto attacking a minion or a champion, you can keep spamming this ability knowing that your auto attack speed will not be affected by any means. Unlike your Q ability, if you and your clone hit the same target with the E ability, it does not provide bonus damage but rather applies a very useful slow on them. An important aspect of Zed is to be able to land your abilities with your clone on the same target. If you do, you get 20 energy back as a bonus. If you land the same ability twice on the same target, it does not refund energy anymore. A cool thing about Zed is if you reach the maximum cooldown reduction, which is 40%, during your Shadow's lifespan, you actually have enough time to use 3 E abilities and 2 Q abilities, assuming that you have enough energy to spend on all of these abilities. As you can see here, I was short just a bit energy to be able to use my second Q on time. It is possible for Zed to have 2 shadows out at the same time, from his W and from his ulti. This is very beneficial because it can make his Q deal some crazy damage. Clever assassination method with Zed is to use your W for safety. You throw behind you, ulti the target, use your Q, use your ulti auto attack, and then W away and let the mark finish him off. Quicksilver Sash is a hard counter towards Zed ultimate because the target that you use your ultimate on can simply pop that item and it'll completely remove the death mark. A very important tip is to make sure that you proc your passive on the target you are death marking. For instance, you ulti someone and you want to make sure you get him to under half HP so that you can auto attack, proc the passive, which will deal extra damage and make your death mark deal even more. Zed's ultimate is supposed to create more than one shadow initially. Looking at the animations very slowly, you can see more than one shadow does appear around your target. However, they later changed this to one shadow, but they left the animation untouched. Zed's detonation damage that comes from his ulti does not take into account things like true damage, so Ignite will not make it deal any more damage. Did you know that only Zed's damage is calculated into the detonation mark damage of his ultimate? Any damage dealt by your allies or even the turret does not make the mark damage deal more. Alright, so enough about his skills, let's jump into some really cool facts about this champion. Zed is the first champion that doesn't actually die in his death animation. As the turret has killed him here, you can see him making a portal on the ground which he simply passes through. Now looking at the same thing with his skin on, this time his death animation is slightly different, but it still does not show him dying. He simply puts his hands up in the air and the lightning bolt seems to either take him away or it's him teleporting somewhere else. Did you know that Zed's dance is inspired by martial arts? Because the animator who created and designed his dance is actually a black belt in martial arts, so it looks really cool. Zed's joke is him playing rock paper scissors with his shadow, which usually has Zed winning and the shadow simply just disappears. However, on the off chance where Zed loses, he gets outraged and completely destroys his shadow. Zed is one of the few champions who actually has a different running animation when his move speed is over a certain limit. As you can see here, I have boots +5 and I pop ghost, and as I am running with this movement speed, his arms flay behind him and he's running like a ninja in anime such as Naruto. However, once the movement speed is gone, he goes back to his original running motion. Zed is actually one of the 9 champions that has no skill scaling off of AP, and he's the 5th champion that uses energy along with Shen, Akali, Kennen, and Lee Sin. Shen and Zed both have the exact same quote. Let's listen.
Without a sound.
Without a sound.
So while we are on the topic of Zed and Shen, did you know that Zed and Shen both were taught by the same master who was Shen's father? Zed and Shen are now rivals because Zed actually murdered Shen's father after he created the Order of the Shadow. Zed wants to abolish the old ways of balance and he wants to use the forbidden art of the shadow, and any ninja refusing to use this forbidden art will be eliminated. The Shockblade Zed skin seems to have a resemblance to Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe. Here's a picture of a comparison between the two. Alright, that's the end of this episode of Did You Know, episode 3 featuring Zed. I hope you have learned something new about this champion or even a new lore about him as well and have a bigger appreciation of him. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to leave a like and even share this if you liked it. Also, please leave a comment below if you have any suggestions on how to improve this series, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and I'll see you next time. Peace! Bye.